What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man. Jeezy, I'm coming back, man. I got another video banger for you guys, man. This Cat Williams dropped bombshell revealing what really happened to Martin Lawrence. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, man. Let's go.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. Why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent.
You can't pay me $1,000 to get in no dress. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you, gang. No amount of dollars. No amount of dollars, bro. No amount of dollars could ever make me want to get in no dress. I don't care what you are.
We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time.
People often say, Hollywood is where dreams come true. But have you ever stopped to ask, what is the real price paid for that spotlight? For decades, we've been fed an inspirational story about Martin Lawrence, the king of comedy, who fought his way back from a near-fatal stroke to return to the stage. But recently, Katt Williams, Hollywood's whistleblower, dropped a nuclear bomb that completely shattered that script. He said Martin Lawrence had his soul stolen. According to Katt, the Martin Lawrence we see today is not the man from the 1990s. He was replaced. His identity was broken. And if you look closely at Martin Lawrence today, you'll understand why those words sent chills through so many people. The Martin of the 1990s was a completely different person. Explosive energy, wild, uncontrolled. Then suddenly, after an incident the media called a stroke or exhaustion, Martin disappeared from Hollywood for many years.
So what really happened to Martin Lawrence? Was the stroke story the whole truth? What exactly did Katt Williams reveal about Martin Lawrence? Let's uncover the truth right now.
A terrifying life-or-death incident. August 1999. Los Angeles was engulfed in a record-breaking heat wave. In the middle of it all, Martin Lawrence, a star at the absolute peak of his power, was found collapsed on a sidewalk, his body convulsing and his breathing barely there. The official statement from his representatives shocked the public. Martin had wrapped himself in multiple layers of plastic clothing thrown on a thick jacket and gone out jogging under 38 degrees Celsius heat. This was not training. This was self-inflicted punishment taken to an irrational extreme. By the time paramedics arrived, his body temperature had reached a horrifying 42 degrees Celsius. Martin Lawrence didn't just pass out, he fell into a deep coma. Doctors were forced to use the most extreme interventions modern medicine had to offer. They inserted a breathing tube so machines could breathe for him. And even more terrifying, they submerged his entire body into ice baths to keep his brain from being cooked, as his own blood was overheating inside him. In that moment, the clock on Martin's life nearly stopped. Medical experts issued a chilling warning. Even if he survived, brain damage was unavoidable. That was the true collapse.
Yo, that's wild, man. That's wild, man. That's wild.
A biological collapse. But to Katt Williams, it carried a hidden message. Martin's body had been pushed to its absolute limit to force his mind to surrender. From 1999 to 2000, after miraculously escaping death, Martin Lawrence did not reappear to celebrate. Instead, he fell into a long stretch of silence that lasted more than a year. This was the dark hiatus period. A superstar carrying hundreds of millions of dollars in projects on his shoulders suddenly evaporated from the media. But Katt Williams believes Martin's withdrawal from the public was not about ordinary recovery. It was time for Hollywood to reconstruct him. Katt suggests Martin was placed into a process he calls brainwashing or domestication. According to Katt, before 1999, Martin Lawrence was a true monster on stage, sharp, rebellious, impossible to control. But after returning from the coma and extended absence, Martin became a more obedient version of himself, slower, more restrained, and no longer carrying the same genius fire he once had. Katt Williams spoke about black artists being pushed into humiliating rituals, saying, "What happened to Martin? Martin was the funniest man on the planet. Then he gets in a dress. Then he starts acting different. Then he has a stroke while running in a plastic suit." Does that sound like a workout to you? The dress, the starting point of suspicion.
Let me take you back
That's that Hollywood stuff, boy. That stuff will make it. Hey, money ain't everything, man. Money ain't everything. Money ain't even nowadays worth more than gold. So, hey, view how you view it, man.
to the early 2000s, right at the moment Martin Lawrence returned and once again stood at the absolute peak of his power in Hollywood.
By then, Martin Lawrence had become a box office icon. Big Mama's House was released in 2000 and exploded, pulling in over $170 million worldwide. The image of Big Mama Martin in an elderly woman's suit became a money-making brand. Hollywood saw a proven formula. Put on a dress. Dress up as a woman. Exaggerate the body. Audiences laugh. And just like that, money pours in like a waterfall. According to Katt Williams, the story of the dress began after Martin Lawrence was forced to step away from Hollywood due to his stroke, a period Martin himself referred to as a hiatus. During that time, Martin reached out to Katt directly. The two had a very straightforward conversation, professional to professional. Martin told Katt that when he came back, he needed Katt by his side. Martin called Katt his little brother, his brother in comedy. And most importantly, Martin made a very clear promise. The film that marked his comeback would be a movie starring the two of them. Not a supporting role, not a cameo. A real project with two men standing shoulder to shoulder in a true buddy cop-style film. Katt said that at the time he believed him completely. Without a single doubt, he didn't ask to see the script.
I remember Katt saying something about this.
He didn't ask about the role. He didn't ask about conditions. Katt gave Martin one straight answer. Do what you need to do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't worry. That wasn't just a professional agreement. It was a promise between two brothers in comedy. But at the next meeting, when Katt walked into the office, everything shifted. According to Katt, Martin pulled out the script. And it was not the buddy cop movie he had promised. What Martin presented was the script for Big Mama's House 2. Katt said he almost died on the spot. Not because a movie existed, but because he realized the original promise had been replaced by the same old formula. Katt said that as he read the script, it became crystal clear. They wanted him to wear a dress alongside Martin. Not a new twist, not a bold creative idea, but the same familiar formula, dressing up as women to get laughs. And it was in that exact moment that Katt began to push back. Why does it have to be a dress again? He already played an FBI grandma. Now we can play anything. Cops, buddy cops, even dog catchers. So why does it still have to be a dress? What matters is this. Katt did not refuse because he didn't understand comedy. He did not object because he was afraid of being laughed at. He objected because he could clearly see what was happening. Hollywood didn't want creativity. They wanted to repeat a formula that had already made money. And this time, they wanted to pull Katt directly into that formula. Katt's frustration reached the point where he told Martin straight up, "You don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson." And according to Katt, that's exactly what happened. They went looking for Brandon T. Jackson. Not once, but twice. Katt emphasized that he was not pushed out because of a lack of ability. Quite the opposite. He said he did other people's work, rewrote scenes, punched up the script. His only request was that the material not demean black people in real life. And according to Katt, that was precisely what got him pushed out of the game. Most importantly, in this entire story, Katt does not personally blame Martin Lawrence. He tells it as a very specific example of how the system works. Promises can change, ideas can be twisted, and if you refuse to follow the safe mold, the system will immediately find someone else who is willing to do it.
That is why in Katt's story, the dress is no longer a joke. It becomes a symbol of the line for you.
According to Katt, the dress in comedy is a tool used to dismantle masculinity. Throughout film history, a long list of the most powerful black male actors have all been forced to step into a dress, from Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, to Tyler Perry and Kevin Hart. But Katt raises a cold, unsettling question. Why? Why is it that in order to become a top-tier superstar, Black men are consistently placed in situations where they must be feminized for laughs. Why do all of our strongest men have to get in a dress to be allowed to be at the top? I refused to do it because I knew it wasn't about the comedy. It was about showing that they own you. Katt points out that nearly 90% of the most successful black male actors have worn a dress at least once on screen. He analyzes this as a test of obedience within the entertainment industry. Katt also reveals that directors and producers routinely apply pressure, treating it as a mandatory stepping stone to reach A-list status. When a black man, often seen as a symbol of strength and resistance, agrees to wear a dress, he is sending a silent message to the powers behind the curtain. I will do anything to be famous. I am willing to give up my identity. Katt emphasizes that he is not opposed to drag comedy if it serves a truly brilliant script. What he rejects is the repetition, the pattern. He sees a frightening rule at work. If you refuse to wear the dress, your career stalls, and you are labeled difficult to work with. If you accept it, money and awards come flooding in. To Katt, Martin Lawrence is the clearest victim of this system. Martin was once a true warrior on the stand-up stage, but after agreeing to become Big Mama, his spirit and presence changed forever. Katt believes that was the moment Martin sold himself. Hollywood does not need your talent, they need your submission. And the dress is the first chain placed around the necks of these stars. Katt Williams refused to wear a dress because he understood one thing. Once you allow them to steal your masculinity and self-respect, they will come back soon enough to take.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players, pursuing lives of adventure.
Whatever is left of your soul. Before the soul was stolen, who was Martin Lawrence? In the 1990s, if you talked about comedy, without mentioning Martin Lawrence, it meant you knew nothing about pop culture. Back then, Martin was the definition of wild, sharp, and fast. He wasn't just performing comedy, he was controlling audiences with an almost electric force of energy. In 1992, American television history was split in two when the sitcom Martin officially premiered on Fox. No one, not even the power brokers of Hollywood, could have predicted its destructive impact. In a short time, The Martin Show was no longer just entertainment. It became the Bible of black comedy in the 1990s. At that moment, he possessed what every artist dreams of but very few ever achieve: absolute freedom, supreme power. Martin was not only the lead actor, he was the soul of the entire show. He transformed into a long list of characters like Shanana Jenkins, Jerome, and Otis, improvising with a genius no script could ever restrain. This was the original Martin Lawrence, a raging beast overflowing with energy, razor sharp to an extreme, with eyes burning with intensity and combativeness.
We gotta do it. Martin!
In the eyes of Hollywood's hidden powers, a black artist with that level of influence and uncontrollability was a threat. SNL 1994. The first time Hollywood officially labeled a rebel. The first major fracture occurred on the night of February 19, 1994, on the stage of Saturday Night Live. This was the moment Hollywood officially stamped Martin Lawrence as out of control. During the opening monologue broadcast live to millions of households, Martin did what no one dared to do. He tore the script apart. He launched into crude, highly sensitive topics about women and other issues in the rawest way possible. NBC's production team was thrown into chaos. The network was forced to cut away and immediately air an on-screen apology. The result was a career death sentence at NBC. Martin was permanently banned from SNL. But more deeply, this was a message from the elite. If you don't play by our rules, we will turn you into an outcast. From that moment on, Martin was no longer the golden child. He became a target that needed to be tamed. But that wasn't the end. Publicly humiliating legal battles began to unfold. In the years that followed from 1996 to 1997, the public witnessed a Martin Lawrence spiraling deeper into his own chaos. The grip of the system began to tighten, pushing him into situations.
That's messed up, man. That's messed up what they do, you know. because how I'm looking at it, he put himself through that so that they can't keep bashing him. He didn't know how far they would take it. But I'm guessing around that time he knew how far they have taken it. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know how far they was willing to go. 'Cause nobody would sit there and put themselves through something like that and actually suffer through that. It takes a lot out of a person for a person to sit there and physically put themselves through suffering and pain. You know, I don't know. It's a lot, man.
More insane than anything Hollywood could ever write into a script. The Ventura Boulevard Incident, a scream of desperation. May 7th, 1996. At a busy intersection on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, stunned onlookers saw the world's #1 comedy star standing in the middle of rushing traffic. In Martin's hand was a loaded handgun. He wasn't aiming at anyone in particular. Instead, he was screaming into the void, words filled with terror. "They're trying to kill me. They want my life." This was not acting. When LAPD officers arrived, Martin resisted, violently forcing them to use force to restrain him and place him in handcuffs right there on the street. Instead of being taken to a police station,
At that point, he didn't know who he can trust. And this deep, bro, cause like, man, when you feel like all that stuff coming at you from one way and you don't know who you can trust because they could sit there and use something against you, then they can brain tie into this, then all this over here, man, bro. He felt like he was trapped in the corner and didn't know where to turn, bro. And it got to a point where they at that point could have played him like he was crazy or something. Which it's crazy if you really just sit back and look at it, you know. As well, the industry and what kind of hold they try and have on people, far as they say so because they know what they can say and things that can be taken back against them and put back on them, but that don't justify what you should do to somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? That don't justify mentally trauma in somebody for the hard work to get in the position that they in, you know? Especially not black people, especially not somebody who worked as hard as he did to get from where he was to where he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? To a lot of them that actually had to suffer through the same thing because apparently there's something big in Hollywood. And apparently we have all seen it and overlooked it. Because I know I have. I had my fair shares of overlooking some of that too. That I now look at like, oh yeah, wow, that's crazy. You know. So
he was transported directly to a medical facility for a psychiatric evaluation under California's 5150 law. Hollywood quickly pushed a narrative. Martin was exhausted and dehydrated. But does a dehydrated man run into traffic with a gun screaming about an assassination plot? Or was this a rare moment when his real soul was desperately crying out for help before being swallowed by the darkness? The Burbank Airport Incident, when fear becomes instinct. Just 3 months later, on August 20, 1996, Martin was arrested again, this time at Burbank Airport. He attempted to pass through security with a Beretta .25 caliber handgun hidden in his bag. Why would a multi-million-dollar star do something so reckless? There is only one answer. He was living in absolute terror. Martin wasn't carrying a gun to attack anyone. He carried it because he believed he was being watched 24/7. The look in Martin's eyes in the escort photos from that day showed no madness.
they pretty much were driving this man crazy. Basically, he started to feel like he was getting driven crazy at this
It
point.
was the look of a man pushed into a corner, a man who truly believed death was closing in. Tisha Campbell and the $5 million lawsuit. A fatal blow from within. In 1997, While The Martin Show was in its 5th season and still a cash cow, a nuclear bomb detonated at the heart of the production. Tisha Campbell, who played Gina, the heart of the show, and Martin's indispensable on-screen, other half abruptly walked away and filed a lawsuit against Martin Lawrence. In the lengthy legal filings, Tisha didn't just describe creative disagreements. She accused Martin of unethical behavior and systematic emotional abuse. Tisha stated that Martin frequently engaged in unwanted actions on set. He became obsessively controlling to an extreme degree. His unexplained outbursts of rage turned the workplace into a living nightmare. Tisha stated bluntly, "I no longer feel safe around him." The lawsuit brought production of the final season to a halt. To save the show, an unprecedented legal agreement was put in place. Tisha agreed to return to finish season 5 under one ironclad condition. Martin and Tisha were never allowed to be in the same room together. Repeated hospitalizations and mounting legal troubles turned Martin's life into a prison without bars. Every path to freedom was blocked by million-dollar contracts and constant oversight from entertainment industry power holders. Hollywood had successfully planted a single idea in the public's mind: Martin Lawrence has gone crazy. And if the lawsuits dragged Martin to the edge of the abyss, it was family that would deliver the final blow, crushing what little remained of Martin Lawrence's soul. A collapsed marriage and shocking allegations. The hell behind.
They put pressure on you to see how long it'll take for you to break. And once you break, they got you where they want you. And once they got you where they want you, that control they have over you at that point. So that's wild, man. That's wild, man. This should be something that's fought for or something, or something, man. Something.
Behind closed doors.
When skies have fallen down.
In 1995, Martin Lawrence married Patricia Southall, a former Miss Virginia. The world looked at them as a power couple, a symbol of black success in Hollywood. But less than 2 years later, in 1997, that glossy picture was ripped apart, revealing a terrifying reality thick with tension and violence. Patricia filed for divorce at the exact moment Martin was already spinning out of control with problems on set. But what truly shocked the
Wait a minute. I didn't know they was really married though. Like I ain't gonna lie. Y'all might get on my tail for this one because I should have knew this. But I didn't know they was really like married. 'Cause from what I just heard, bro. I mean, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back.
The world looked at them as a power couple, a symbol of black success in Hollywood. But less than 2 years later, in 1997, that glossy picture was ripped apart, revealing a terrifying reality thick with tension and violence. Patricia filed for divorce at the exact moment Martin was already spinning out of control with problems on set. But what truly shocked the media was not the
That could make a lot of things worse too.
breakup itself. It was the details inside the restraining order Patricia asked the court to enforce. She accused Martin of no longer being the man she once knew. In court documents, Patricia described a Martin Lawrence consumed by extreme paranoia. He believed he was being watched, constantly checking dark corners of the house with a weapon in his hand. Martin's uncontrollable rages left Patricia living in constant fear. She claimed he had subjected her to both physical and psychological abuse. Patricia implied that medications and unknown substances had transformed Martin into a completely different monster, far removed from the funny man audiences saw on television. Imagine Martin's mental state at that time. At work, he was being sued by colleagues. At home, his wife was divorcing him and accusing him of abuse. Martin Lawrence was completely isolated. He had no safe ground left to stand on. The label of paranoid that Patricia introduced was exactly the card the Hollywood system needed. Why? Because when Martin screamed, "They're trying to kill me," the media could easily twist the narrative. See, even his wife says he's paranoid. Katt Williams saw straight through this. He understood that accusations of violence and paranoia are often exaggerated or engineered to push an artist into.
Okay, let's give it up for Cat, man. We love having Cat Williams in this scene. I don't. No matter how you want to look at it, bro. Like, just be real about it. We need more Cat Williams, man. We need more Cat Williams. Just that simple, man.
To a state of artificial mental breakdown. When Martin lost everything, he became alone. And when a person is completely alone, they are far more likely to accept any form of help offered by those behind the curtain, even if that help comes at the cost of their soul. The period from 1997 to 1998 was when Martin Lawrence was backed into a corner of pure desperation. Every attempt to resist was useless. He became a patient in the public eye, long before he truly became a victim of the soul-stealing process in 1999. Martin Lawrence in the public eye. Today, everyone sees it, but no one dares to say it. During the global press tour for the blockbuster Bad Boys Ride or Die in 2024, the world expected to witness a triumphant reunion of the iconic Bad Boys. Instead, what unfolded in front of hundreds of international journalists felt more like a horror film about the collapse of a human being. Look closely at the viral clips that sent chills through TikTok and X. Standing next to a Will Smith who still radiates life-explosive energy and sharp speech, Martin Lawrence appears as a cruel contrast. His eyes look dull, empty, and completely lost. But the detail that pushed millions of viewers to seriously question Katt Williams' soul-stealing theory was Will Smith's body language. Attentive audiences noticed countless moments. Will repeatedly touches Martin's shoulder, leans in to whisper reminders, even jumps in to take over mid-sentence the moment Martin starts stumbling over his words. Martin Lawrence no longer seems fully in control of his own body or mind. On the red carpet in Mexico, when Martin had to cling
I don't like that. And he covering it. If you not good to talk right now, bro, even be in this area, you don't even remember what we built. Not even in a bad, disrespectful way, but just in the simple fact of the matter that you not in the right state of mind, bro. You don't need to be right here right now, bro. Let's worry about you. This other stuff can come later. Like, where, like, what? But my bad. I keep forgetting that's the same guy who walked up on stage and smacked the dude for joking about his wife in the crowd. I mean, yeah, that was wrong, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother conversation. Because at the end of the day, you still was in the wrong. You should have been more of a man and mature enough not to go up there and just smack somebody for words. You get what I'm saying? But nevertheless, man, why are you not defending? Why are you trying to make it like it's cool that Martin is not in the same headspace or mind that he used to be in? Let's work on that. Let's figure that out. Understand this before sitting here trying to make what you got going on although more better if it includes him without doing it without including him. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what you're really trying to do, and it's kind of fucked up. It is fucked up. So
tightly to Will's arm, just to keep his balance staggering. As he walked, the internet truly exploded. People began to believe Katt Williams was not exaggerating. The Martin Lawrence we see today looks like a malfunctioning copy, an empty shell. The system is desperately trying to control long enough to complete its final contracts before he fades away completely. Hollywood has always operated like a highly efficient crisis management machine. As images of a frail and broken Martin Lawrence flooded the internet, the system immediately rolled out compassionate explanations to calm public concern. The defenses.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible.
They pointed to the death of Robert Lawrence, known as Larry Martin's beloved older brother, in mid-2020. They pointed to the sudden passing of Sean Lampkin, Martin's childhood friend, and Martin Show co-star in March 2023. He's suffering from depression. The pain of loss is too great even for a comedian. Headlines like these appeared everywhere to shield Martin. But let's be clear, if this were just grief, why has it lasted so long and transformed a human being so completely grief can make you cry? It does not erase your ability to speak clearly or turn sharp, intelligent eyes into an empty void for decades. The suspicion never disappeared. It was only compressed like a ticking time bomb. And eventually, that bomb detonated at a truly horrifying final stop. Emmy 2024, the moment when the entire internet stopped. It was the night of January 15th, 2024 at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. The entire world held its breath as the legendary cast of Martin's show stepped onto the stage. The audience rose to their feet in thunderous applause. But that celebration lasted exactly 10 seconds before being replaced by a deep, creeping sense of dread. Under the harsh lights of live national television, Martin Lawrence appeared, but he did not seem truly present. While Tisha Campbell and Tichina Arnold radiated energy, Martin stood there like a wax figure slowly melting. When it was his turn to speak, Martin could not complete a single sentence. He stuttered, hesitated, struggling to breathe. Each word seemed stuck in his throat, coming out faint, broken, and incomplete. A teleprompter with massive lettering sat directly in front of him, yet Martin stared at it as if it were a foreign language. He took an unusually long time to process what he was seeing, his eyes wide and empty. And Tichina Arnold subtly leaned in close to Martin as if to keep him from falling, or to quietly prompt him. Social media platform X exploded that night. Millions of posts flooded in with the same questions. Is Martin Lawrence okay? Why does he look like he's being remotely controlled? People no longer saw a legendary comedian. They saw a man trying to perform the role of himself and failing painfully. That was the moment Katt Williams' theory about Hollywood stealing souls reached its most terrifying point of credibility. A person can age. A person can gain weight. But the spark in the eyes, the energy that defined Martin Lawrence, had completely evaporated. The clumsy lie. Less than 24 hours after the Emmy incident, Hollywood's media machine immediately went into damage control. TMZ and so-called close sources rushed out coordinated headlines. Martin is 100% healthy. He was temporarily blinded by intense stage lights. It was simply a teleprompter malfunction. Representatives even reassured the public that Martin was preparing for a global comedy tour to prove his health. But these explanations were painfully thin in the face of what people had just witnessed. A professional performer with 30 years on stage, someone who had faced tens of thousands of live audiences, brought down by a stage light or a minor technical glitch, that did not explain the prolonged blankness seen from Bad Boys press interviews all the way.
And let's be honest, bro would have winged it. Bro would have winged it. From there, whether he could see it or not, bro would have winged it. I promise you, everything they wish he said, he would have said that and more. I'm telling you,
To
bro.
the Emmy stage. And just as public doubt piqued Katt Williams' old words about the dress and punishment echoed back like a chilling prophecy, people began connecting the dots. The collapse in 1999, the mysterious year-long disappearance, and now a version of Martin Lawrence that appeared fragile, disconnected from reality. Suddenly, it became clear. The day he collapsed on the streets of Sherman Oaks with a body temperature of 42 degrees Celsius was not a simple jogging accident. It was the final moment the real Martin Lawrence still existed. What we see today may only be the remainder of a system that drained the soul from a genius. As the timeline moved into 2025 and 2026, Martin Lawrence once again became a focal point of public attention. But this time, not because of a new role or a shocking statement. It was because of his appearance and health. Martin Lawrence today, a quiet return. Throughout most of 2024, Martin was under constant scrutiny. Criticism, concern, and speculation surrounded his visibly slower pace and fatigued appearance. But by early 2026, the story began to shift. During his new comedy tour titled Y'all Still Know What It Is, Martin Lawrence appeared at multiple stops, including Maryland and Virginia. Then, an unexpected backstage clip began circulating online. In the video, Martin looked noticeably leaner, his face slimmer, his movements lighter. He stood behind the stage shadowboxing, lightly preparing to perform, while Tupac's All Eyes on Me played in the background. This was not the image of a man fading. It was the image of someone reconnecting with the rhythm of the stage. Subsequent footage from the shows reinforced that feeling. Martin appeared healthier, more mobile, and most importantly, mentally sharper. On his personal Instagram, he posted several photos from recent performances with a short caption. DC and VA showed so much love. Public reaction this time was completely different. Instead of panic, people exhaled. On social media, especially X-fans expressed relief at seeing Martin coming back. Some
It kind of got me on edge though, because I don't know at this point if that's the real Martin or not. Because you know, but like I say, he could be getting better, and if that's the case, I hope he's becoming better and becoming a better him, because that's a lot. That's a lot on a person, man. And yeah, that's just a lot, man.
joked that
It's
he
a
looked
lot.
like he had cut alcohol and pork, the kind of weight loss people see when the liver starts to recover. Healthy eating and consistent exercise are very real paths, and not every physical change should be automatically blamed on medication. The shared emotion across most reactions was clear. People were happy for Martin Lawrence.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete.
At 60 years old, Martin has entered what he himself calls the second half of his life, a phase where the energy is no longer explosive like the 1990s, but the presence is still strong enough that every small change draws attention. In 2026, Martin Lawrence has not disappeared. He is involved in or preparing several new projects. These include The Varnell Hill Show, with Tommy Davidson, the series Young Martin, and a television project titled Nihama, which tells the story of a father of 5 who leaves a high-paying tech career to pursue stand-up comedy. Not loud blockbusters, not old-school box office peaks, but projects scaled to where he is now. Martin Lawrence today is no longer the man running under extreme heat in a plastic suit to maintain his body. He is no longer an artist trapped in Hollywood's frantic machinery. He appears slower, he speaks less, and he seems to know when to stop. For many people, simply seeing Martin healthier, standing steadier on stage is enough to say one simple thing: he is still here. What about you? What do you see when you look at Martin Lawrence today? A legend being reborn? Or a man who has been through too much and is simply trying to live quietly through what remains? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
I
If
think
you
it's a little
enjoy
bit of
deep
both. I think it's a little bit of both. I really think it's a little bit of both. But yeah, um, that about summarize it, man. That about sums it up, because I honestly don't know how I feel about it. I feel like this might be Martin, and it could possibly not be. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, it's been good. It's been your boy Jeezy. Peace.